Well, I think our next offering will be more to your liking. It's a new drama series coming to Apple TV Plus on Wednesday, the 12th of June. It's called Presumed Innocent, and here's a clip.
When was the last time you were in Carolyn's apartment?
We had cases together. Sometimes we would work after hours at her apartment.
Your fingerprints were found in her bedroom. Were you and Caroline romantically involved?
My suspect. Because I did not kill her.
You're absolutely right. I really, really love what I've seen of this so far. Not only because Jake Gyllenhaal is in it. I'm not that easily swayed, I promise. But because it, a bit like the last one didn't for me, it just captures you immediately. It's really pacey, high drama, and you're completely caught up in it immediately because this does have violence in it. They're investigating a murder, so it's pretty nasty in places, but it also brings in the whole kind of emotional element and the backdrop of kind of people's lives, which I find really, really interesting. And there are a few twists and turns. It's not all completely obvious, dare I say it. Jake Gyllenhaal, he makes his return to this drama. I think it's for the first time since his guest appearance in Homicide: Life on the Street, which is 30 years ago, which is quite hard to believe, really. And he plays the lead role in this. Now, he stars as this attorney, so he's really well dressed, straight away. Got me, I'm there. And he's accused of committing the murder that he's investigating. So straight away, how, why, he's married, what's going on. And then he sat around a table and it turns out that his fingerprints are not only everywhere, but in the bedroom. Is he romantically involved with the person that has died? And so this follows this. It's got 8 parts in the series. And it's adapted from a book, Scott Turo's hit 1987 novel. And so I haven't read the book, so I don't know how well it sort of sticks to the narrative of the book. Often these things sometimes don't. But you see people really coming up against each other. You see somebody who absolutely maintains their innocence. And, in this country, you have you're innocent until proven guilty. But I suspect if you are innocent, it doesn't feel that way. I suspect you feel very guilty very early on, even when you're trying to prove your innocence. And it's probably not supposed to be, it's not supposed to be that way around. So you really see somebody completely under the cosh and trying to get to the bottom of it. So it's a proper whodunit, as well as all the emotional strands of children being involved, families being involved, friends being involved, and the people that are being put on this case to investigate. There's complaints. They say they're too close to the person that died. They're too close to the situation. And so it's very, very emotionally highly strung, as well as physically, because as I say, it's very, very pacey. I think Jake does a really good job of it, actually. He's really credible. He's really believable. He's really likeable, even though he's done something awful. And I always think that's quite clever when you think you really want to hate someone, but actually you still quite like them. It's quite, it's testament to how well they're playing the part. So it's all about trying to find the killer, trying to bring the killer to justice. But it's got this, as I say, this real emotional undertone, which I think is really, really brilliant. So yeah, you are right. Right up my street, Ian. What did you think?
I did like it. Jake Gyllenhaal, he's very versatile, isn't he? I mean, we last saw him in the remake of Roadhouse, and, you couldn't get much further away from this. There is a family connection, actually, because his brother-in-law, Peter Sarsgaard, who is married to Maggie Gyllenhaal, is in this. One of the interesting elements of it is that in the American system, they elect the district attorneys, so they run for office, and they're very political. So in the DA's office, there's sort of the incumbent who Gyllenhaal's character is sort of aligned with, so his character Rusty, and then there's also Nico de la Guardia, played by O.T. Fagbenle, who looks like he's going to be the new DA, and his sidekick is played by Sarsgaard. And it's a highly charged, sort of very political environment, because they very incredibly read to each other, these two rival kind of teams of attorneys. So I did find that interesting. And then, yes, Gyllenhaal initially is investigating the death, it's sort of violent death of his colleague. However, it emerges that they were in a relationship together. And then there's also his home life. His wife has sort of forgiven him for his infidelity, but this case is obviously bringing it all back up. And these political rivals want to investigate him when they take over the case. So it's a slightly different role, I think, for Gyllenhaal. This Rusty, I think, is quite hard to read in some ways, but I think it's well done, and I enjoyed episode 1. I will keep watching, and of course, it's from the prolific former lawyer David E. Kelly, who's done things like Ally McBeal and LA Law before, so a pretty good pedigree.